Have you ever trusted someone with your whole heart, only to watch them slowly betray that trust? Not with a bang, but with silence, distance, and cold avoidance. It stings, doesn't it? That kind of betrayal, quiet, personal, and unexpected, can shake your entire belief in friendship. But here's the real question. What does a Stoic do when loyalty turns into lies? When a friend you once called brother starts treating you like a stranger? Before we dive into the answers, let me ask you for a small favor. If you've ever been hurt by someone you once trusted deeply, this video might shift the way you deal with people for the rest of your life. So make sure you watch it till the end, because what you learn today might just save you years of pain. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more life-changing insights rooted in ancient Stoic wisdom. We drop real talk here, the kind that builds your soul and sharpens your mind. Now let's get into it. Let me take you back to ancient Rome 2,000 years ago. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of the Roman Empire, is seated alone in his study. The night is quiet, but his heart is not. A trusted general, one he had supported for years, raised through the ranks, and considered a loyal friend, has now turned against him, spreading rumors, undermining decisions, chasing power in the dark. Marcus could have let his emotions lead. He could have reacted with fury, revenge, even war. But instead he sat down, and he wrote. He wrote in what would one day be known as Meditations. When another blames you or hates you, or people voice similar criticisms, go to their souls, penetrate inside, and see what sort of people they are. You will realize there is no need to be racked with anxiety, that they hold some opinion about you. You see, Stoicism doesn't teach us to be cold. It teaches us to remain calm when others turn cold on us. Number 1, accept that people will fail you. Let me ask you something. Do you remember that one person? The one who made you feel like the whole world paused when they smiled at you. The one you trusted with your secrets, your struggles, and even your dreams. Maybe it was a friend you called your brother, or a girl you once thought you'd marry. Whoever it was, you loved them like they were part of your soul. You believed they'd never turn their back on you. And then one day something changed. Not all at once, but slowly. Like a light dimming, they stopped replying as fast. They started choosing others over you. They said things behind your back that you thought they'd never say. And when you finally saw the truth, you were shattered. You asked yourself, how could they do this to me? You replayed every moment trying to find what you did wrong. But the answers never came. Only silence and pain. Brother, if you're feeling that right now, or have felt it recently, then what I'm about to tell you might just be the key to your healing. Because the ancient Stoics, they knew this kind of pain well. They were betrayed by friends, family, generals, even lovers, and yet they didn't let that betrayal define them. Epictetus, who was born a slave and rose to become a Stoic master, said, when someone wrongs you, it's because they act based on their understanding of good and evil, not yours. In other words, people will fail you, not because you weren't worthy of loyalty, but because they never truly understood what loyalty even meant. You see, the Stoics believed that most people are driven not by reason, but by impulse, by self-interest, by fear. They don't betray you because you weren't good enough. They betray you because they weren't strong enough to be loyal. Let that sink in. Their disloyalty is not a reflection of your weakness. It's a mirror of their character. But here's where it gets deeper. When we expect everyone to be like us, to love like us, to show up like us, we set ourselves up for disappointment. That's why Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, would wake up every morning and remind himself, today I will meet people who are ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful, envious, and selfish. He expected imperfection, and because he expected it, he was never surprised by it. He didn't give people the power to shock him or break him. So if you're hurting right now from someone's betrayal, take this lesson to heart. You can't control how others treat you, but you can control how deeply you let it cut. Take a breath. Let go of the illusion that people will always be who you need them to be. Accept that some will fail you, and that's okay. Because the more you understand that truth, the less you'll bleed from it, and the stronger you'll become. Number 2, control the inner reaction, not the outer behavior. So now you've accepted the painful truth. People will fail you. But here's what most of us get wrong next. We let that failure change us. We get bitter, angry, cold. We stop trusting. We shut the door on new love, new friendships, and even on parts of ourselves. Tell me honestly, have you ever caught yourself staring at your phone, fingers trembling, hovering over a message you wanted to send, one full of rage, pain, or sarcasm, just to let them know they hurt you? Maybe you wanted to remind them what you meant to them, or maybe deep down, you wanted to hurt them back. And you're not alone. Every single one of us has felt that fire. But the Stoics, those ancient masters of emotion, they remind us, you don't have to act on every emotion that visits your heart. Seneca said something that hit me hard the first time I read it. You must hold your spirit in check. Let it not rise up in rebellion or sink in despair. You see, pain is natural. Betrayal hurts. But your reaction, that's your responsibility. That's your true power. Think about it. When someone betrays you, they want control. Maybe not consciously. But their action, their disloyalty, pulls at you. It drags your heart into a storm. But the Stoic path teaches you this. Never let another person's weakness become the blueprint for your behavior. You have two options. You can react like they expect, burn bridges, throw words like knives, become cold and bitter. Or you can rise above it. You can step back, breathe, and ask yourself the question every Stoic asks in moments of chaos. Is this under my control? Can you control that they lied? That they left? That they took your loyalty and turned it into dust? No, but you can control how you move forward. You can choose silence over shouting. You can choose stillness over storm. You can choose to be better, not bitter. And look, I get it. It's hard not to react, especially when someone you loved turned on you like a stranger. But sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. Not because you're weak, but because you've outgrown their energy. So next time you feel that fire rising, when your chest tightens, your jaw clenches, your pride screams for revenge, remember this. You don't have to prove your pain. You don't need to tell the world what they did. Because when you stay grounded, silent, and composed in the face of betrayal, you win. Not the petty win of revenge, but the quiet victory of knowing your peace cannot be stolen. And in a world full of people chasing chaos, that kind of peace is rare. Keep it, guard it, and let your silence speak louder than any revenge ever could. Number 3, reflect on the value of the relationship. By now, you've taken a deep breath. You've stopped yourself from reacting in anger. You've chosen peace over revenge. But here comes the next question, the one that haunts your quiet moments. Should I keep this person in my life? And brother, that's not a simple answer, because here's where the pain gets real. The memories start talking back to you. You remember the late-night conversations, the laughter that echoed down hallways, the birthdays they showed up for, the secrets they promised to keep. You remember how it felt to trust them, to need them. And then you remember the betrayal, the silence, the lies, the distance. It's like your mind is pulling you in two directions. One part says, but we had so many good times. And the other part whispers, yeah, but look at who they've become. So here's what the Stoics would ask you to do in this moment. Strip away the emotion. Look at the truth. Marcus Aurelius used a powerful mental exercise. He called it viewing things as they are. Not as you wish they were. Not as you remember them. But as they are right now. So let's do it together. Ask yourself this. Was this friendship or relationship built on truth or convenience? Were they loyal when it was hard or only when it was easy? Did they show up for you when no one was watching or only when it made them look good? You see, one of the most dangerous things we can do is romanticize the past, because nostalgia is a liar. It edits out the pain and keeps the highlights. And sometimes we don't miss the person, we just miss the feeling. Let that sink in. You miss who you thought they were, not who they've shown themselves to be. So here's what I want you to do, something the Stoics practiced often. It's called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of loss. Imagine your life without this person. No more text. No more calls. No more pretending that things are okay. How does that feel? Does it bring peace or panic? If it feels peaceful, even if it hurts, then you already have your answer. Because pain isn't always a warning. Sometimes it's a sign of healing, like a wound closing up. And maybe, just maybe, this person was in your life for a season, not a lifetime. The Stoics believed that everything has a natural end. Friendships, partnerships, even love. And it's not always because of hate. Sometimes it's because growth created space, and not everyone is meant to grow with you. So don't be afraid to walk away from what's already let go of you. You're not abandoning the past, you're honoring it, but you're also choosing yourself. And brother, that's not selfish. That's Stoic. Number 4, choose distance over drama. So now you've reflected, you've looked at the relationship with clear eyes. Maybe you've realized They're not who they used to be. Or maybe they never were. But here's the part where most people trip and fall, the exit. Because walking away from someone who was once your everything isn't easy, even when you know it's right. Tell me, have you ever drafted a goodbye message, stared at it, and then deleted it? Have you ever thought of calling them just once more, not to beg, but to make them understand what they did to you? That ache inside? That need to explain, to be heard, to be justified? It's human, but it's also where we lose our peace. You see, we think closure comes from confrontation, from spelling it out, from letting them feel our pain. But the Stoics had a different way. They believed in something powerful, quiet, rare. It's called graceful detachment. Seneca once said, "Withdraw into yourself," especially when forced into contact with the unwise. He didn't say fight. He didn't say expose. He didn't say destroy. He said withdraw. Because here's the truth. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your life. Not everyone deserves to witness your healing. Not everyone is worthy of an explanation. Sometimes the best thing you can do is leave quietly, no announcement. No drama, no fire, just silence. A kind of silence that screams maturity. Look, if they lied, manipulated, or abandoned you, they already wrote their chapter in your story. You don't need to co-author another page with them. Distance isn't weak. It's the loudest form of self-respect. Let me put it this way. You wouldn't water a plant that's already dead. So why keep pouring energy into a relationship that's no longer alive? And I know what you might be thinking, but I want them to know how much they hurt me. I want them to regret it. I want justice. But here's what the Stoics knew. You can't control regret. You can't control karma. You can't even control whether they care. You can only control what you carry forward. So instead of dragging their betrayal like a chain around your neck, set it down. Let them wonder why your silence is louder than your words. Let them feel the weight of your absence, not your anger. That's power. That's dignity. That's Stoic. Because one day they might scroll through your photos, hear your name in conversation, and realize they lost someone who would have never given up on them. And by then, you'll be too far ahead to look back. Number 5, strengthen your inner circle. Now that you've chosen distance over drama, something strange happens. The noise starts to fade, but so does the crowd. You look around, and suddenly it's quiet. People you thought would check in don't. Those you stood by during their worst moments vanish during yours. And it hits you. You weren't surrounded by friends. You were surrounded by convenience. And that hurts more than the betrayal itself. But don't run from that realization. Because it's not a punishment, it's a revelation. What if I told you, this pain, this loneliness, this moment you're standing in, is a doorway? A doorway to something better, something stronger, something real. The Stoics understood something we often forget in this age of followers. Likes and group chats. Not everyone around you is with you. Marcus Aurelius, who ruled over millions, still wrote in his private journals, "Associate with those who improve you. Welcome those who correct you. Avoid those who corrupt you." See, Marcus had power, fame, a palace. But he also knew if your circle doesn't challenge your character or protect your peace, it's not a circle. It's a cage. So here's your moment. After the betrayal, after the silence, after the distance, you get to choose. Who gets access to your heart now? Who checks on you not when it's trending but when it's silent? Who defends you when you're not in the room? Who calls you out and lifts you up? Start looking for those people, not just the ones who smile when you win, but the ones who sit beside you when you lose. And if that circle is small, I'm good. The Stoics believed in quality over quantity, always. Seneca wrote, "He is a friend who, even when you are absent, still thinks of your good. He is a friend whose loyalty doesn't depend on the moment." You don't need 20 half-loyal friends. You need 2 real ones, maybe even 1. Hell, start with you. Become the friend you never had. Become the person you wish they were. Because as you raise your standards, your circle will shrink. But don't panic. It's not loneliness. It's pruning. You're not losing people. You're clearing space for the right ones. And here's the twist. When you walk with clarity and calm, when you set boundaries without bitterness, when your silence speaks louder than arguments, you attract people who don't just see your light. They protect it. And those are the kind of people worth suffering for. So go build your inner circle, not on laughs or drinks or memories, but on loyalty, on growth, on truth. Because the next time disloyalty knocks, you won't be destroyed by it. You'll already be surrounded by people who would never let you fall. Number 6, focus on becoming the loyal friend you seek. Let's pause for a moment. You've accepted the betrayal. You've controlled your reaction. You've created distance and you've started shaping your circle. But now comes the part most people skip. Looking inward. Because it's easy to point the finger. It's easy to say, they were fake. They used me. They were never real. And maybe that's all true. But what if I asked you something deeper? Have you ever been someone else's disloyal friend? Yeah, that one stings. Maybe not in a big dramatic way, but in the little ways that still leave marks. The call you didn't return. The secret you let slip. The time you stayed silent when you should have stood up. We've all been there. The Stoics didn't just talk about what others do to us. They constantly asked them, who am I becoming? Because true Stoicism isn't about judging others. It's about mastering yourself. So before we demand loyalty, before we cry out for honesty, love and truth from others, we have to ask if we're giving those things to ourselves and to the people who depend on us. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Be strict with yourself and tolerant with others." You know why that's powerful? Because the moment you raise your own standards, you naturally attract people who meet them. You won't have to chase loyal people. You'll become the kind of person loyal people are drawn to. And I want you to sit with this. Maybe that betrayal you experienced wasn't just a breaking point. Maybe it was a mirror. A reflection showing you how much you've grown, how much more intentional you need to be, and how deeply you value real connection now. So starting today, I want you to flip the script. Stop asking, why did they betray me? And start asking, how can I make sure I never betray myself? Be the friend who listens when it's uncomfortable. Be the brother who tells the truth, even when it shakes the friendship. Be the man who values character more than company. Because here's the secret. When you focus on becoming the kind of friend you seek, the liars, the manipulators, the fair weather types, they naturally fall away. Not because you push them out, but because they no longer fit your world. And that, my friend, is the quiet kind of victory no one can take from you. So don't just heal from the disloyalty. Transform because of it. Use the pain to build something unshakable within yourself. Because when you become the rock, no storm can move you. Number 7, let betrayal be your teacher. So here you are. You've faced betrayal. You've sat with the silence. You've pulled away with grace. You've reflected, healed, and started becoming the very friend you wish you had. But there's one more piece left. Forgiveness? Not necessarily. Reconciliation? Maybe. But what really matters now is what you take with you. Because betrayal, when you really think about it, is one of life's most painful teachers, but also one of the most necessary. Let me ask you something personal. Think about the person who hurt you, the one who twisted loyalty into lies. If you could go back in time before you met them, would you erase them from your life? Most people would say yes. But pause, because maybe they broke you, but maybe, just maybe, they also built you. They taught you how to spot inconsistency behind charm. They taught you how to recognize manipulation behind smiles. They taught you how rare loyalty really is. And more than anything, they taught you about yourself. Because when someone you loved turns their back on you, it forces you to make a choice. You either shrink or you grow. You either stay bitter or you get better. The Stoics didn't waste pain, they studied it. Seneca said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor strengthens the body." That betrayal, it was a workout for your soul. It stretched your tolerance, tested your self-worth, challenged your pride. But look at you now. You've learned to breathe before reacting, to walk away instead of explode, to reflect instead of retaliate. That's real growth. And growth never feels good in the moment, but it saves you for a lifetime. Because next time you'll spot the red flag sooner. Next time you'll trust actions over words. Next time, you won't hand your loyalty to someone just because they know how to make you laugh. You'll move differently, not colder, but wiser. Not harder, but more intentional. Not bitter, just better. And brother, that's the Stoic way. It's not about being emotionless. It's about being emotionally unshakable. You still feel, you still love, but you don't break like you used to. So let betrayal be your teacher. Don't let it define you, let it refine you. Turn your pain into clarity, your scars into standards, your heartbreak into higher ground. Because the truth is, some people come into your life to stay, and others come in just to show you what you'll never accept again. And both are necessary. Remember this: you don't have to harden your heart just because someone mishandled it. You don't have to build walls so high that no one can ever reach you again. But you do have to learn, you do have to grow, and you do have to protect your peace like it's sacred, because it is. Let the disloyalty shape you, not shatter you. Let it sharpen your standards, not your tongue. And above all, never let someone else's betrayal turn you into someone you're not. Be strong, be still, be stoic. And with that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.